Everybody. So this video is about how the media has been lying to us. I think of the media now as propagandists and activists and deep state spokespeople disguised as journalists. And what is the deep state? The deep state are the unelected bureaucrats. According to the Constitution, the people vote, we vote for the president, and then the president put certain people into office. But what has happened over many decades is that these state agencies have become big and bulky and run on their own power. So if a president says, we're not doing this war, but the people in the Pentagon want to do the war, they'll just do the war. Or they'll funnel money through U.S. aid, which is supposed to be aid. We think it's aid, but it's not aid and food for poor people. It's aiding the bureaucrats to overthrow other governments and infiltrate other governments. There's been a lot of lying going on. I knew that they were lying back in the 90s when everyone was hyping the internet stocks, and I'm like, this is a bubble, but no one was saying it. And then again during the housing bubble, it was obviously a bubble. But even Bernanke, the Fed, Bush, they were all saying, no, this is great. House prices have never gone down nationwide. They were lying to us, right? And then after it comes out that they were wrong, they never apologize. They just go on, you know. Then during COVID, they lied to us. They tried to make us into an authoritarian, totalitarian state. And then what they also do, they not only lie, they gaslight you. If you don't believe what they say, they call you names. Kind of reminds me of, like, you have a sensitive kid in elementary school. They have feelings, you know. They're going to cry if they're picked on. You call them a name, you call them a sissy. So they use names. And they use names for countries that we're supposed to hate. See, there's an agenda to start wars, which fortunately is coming to an end now, because there were certain interests in making these wars, these deep state bureaucrats. So in order to start a war, they have to get the popular opinion against these certain countries. So they call these countries a regime. Or, you know, they try to, like the Iranian regime. Or, you know, they try to say Putin is bad. What evidence do you have? They don't. They just tell you that it's bad, and most people believe it. Because you see Rachel Maddow and Jim Acosta, they look very official sitting there, and we're brainwashed as children to believe the authorities, right? Believe the books, believe the teachers, believe the parents in the church. And this is how you know that they're lying. If someone who's trying to control our thinking or is lying to us is going to get very angry if we ask a question. So you see, you can't ask a question, because if you ask questions are not allowed. They'll just talk over you. Or, you know, like even the whole idea of diplomacy. We always had our president talking to leaders of other countries, but all of a sudden, if you talk to Putin, you're his puppet. You're a submissive weakling. You know, like, that's crazy, and people actually believe it. Okay, how do you know they're lying to you is you're not allowed to ask questions. That's a big one. That is a really big one. And, and when they make a mistake, they don't own up to it. They pretend it never happened. That's another big one. Like, whoever came out and said, I was wrong about the internet bubble. I was wrong about the housing bubble. I was wrong about COVID. They don't say that. So and then also they want to keep secrets. They don't want to do audits. Like, so much of our government has never been audited. They don't want to do audits. That's how you know. And they hide from the public. Like, see how Trump is always out talking to people and answering all the questions? It's been a long time since we had anyone answering questions. I mean, how many senators and congressmen go out and meet with their constituents and answer questions? This is how you know they're lying. They don't like it when we ask questions. They use names to ridicule people who try to do the good thing and the right thing. They hide, and they don't take responsibility or apologize. Yeah, and if I want to get along with Russia, I'm a Russian asset. Like, And words are very powerful, and people are very gullible. So that's why I think that, independent media is the way to go. Thank God for Twitter. Thank God Elon Musk took over Twitter. I think that really helped a lot. And thank God for a populist president in power. He's not even a Republican or Democrat. He's just a populist. I think he's a constitutionalist, because the Republican Party is just as corrupt as the Democrats. They're all corrupt. I don't consider Trump a Republican. I consider him a game changer. He's blowing up the deep state, and I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Okay, let's continue. So we have been told so many lies about Russia and Ukraine, like, oh, this was unprovoked. It's actually the Cuban Missile Crisis is what we did to Russia, except instead of putting nuclear weapons into Ukraine, we started arming Ukraine before 2014 even, with NATO intelligence, US weapons, NATO weapons, right on the border of Russia. It was the Cuban Missile Crisis. They didn't tell you that on the news. They didn't talk about it at all. And then, Russia kept saying, hey, you guys got to get out. You guys are too close. For 10 years they said it. Kept arming Ukraine, telling us Ukraine is a democracy. I have some family who lived in Ukraine. They're very corrupt. It's a poor, corrupt country. Very corrupt. Even a teacher there, if you were a teacher in Ukraine in like the mid-2000s, 2010, 15, you had to live with 3 other teachers to be able to afford an apartment, because they were stealing the money. The corrupt people were just stealing the money and enriching themselves. And they also had Nazis there that were supported by the government that would just kill people that they, the Russian ethnic people, 14,000 of them. It's not a democracy. They just lied. And I thought Putin has been very patient. But that's what they do. They lie to us. They don't tell us everything. And now the truth is finally coming out. I'm so glad, because what Biden was doing was leading us to a nuclear war, you guys. Leading us to a nuclear war, these people. Crazy.